Oh, hi there, everybody. You caught me posing for my thumbnail. Anyways, I am Taylor. This is my weekly comic book review show. It is whatever heck day it is. Oh, it's the 24th of March. Time it is a flying, is it not? Seems like just last year we were starting quarantine, and now we're still in quarantine, and time's at a standstill. Okay, enough of that. This is my weekly comic book review show. I'm going to go over the comics I bought this week, and I'll let you know what I thought of them. I'm starting with the worst, and I'm going to the best. So let's get into it. This is actually not a bad week, really. There's nothing truly horrible this week, and not a ton that's like grandly great, but like solid. It was a solid week, and I'm not complaining. I just I have to rank these because it's what I do. So we're starting with the cover that kind of matches my shirt. Carnage, Red, White, and Blood. Here's the thing, I'm probably biased about this. I just do not care about Carnage. It was a cover buy. It's a spec buy. It's the Patrick Gleason, the one-trick pony of cover artists, where everything is now a webbity web or blood or veins or something that, it's this. It's all this. And the book's not horrible. There's like 3 stories in here, all about people that get lured into becoming Carnage or are Carnage or something. The Al Ewing one's kind of confusing because it's a choose your own adventure-ish type thing at the end. It's not really much of a spoiler. If you buy the book, you'll figure it out right away. You're supposed to roll dice. I didn't roll dice. I'm lazy. I'm old. I'm tired. But this is fine. I can't bring myself to care about Carnage. So it's going to be a bottom dollar. Speaking of which, this one's also probably a little bit biased on my part. Harley Quinn #1. I do not care that much about Harley either. She's more interesting than Punchline, but that is not saying anything. I like this cover. I like the new design of Harley's thing. The story itself was not horrible. The art by Rossimo just kind of bugs me a bit. It bugged me when he did the Robin King art, in the Robin Kingity King stories that I can't remember the name of. And it just kind of bugs me now. It's very heavy on like faux halftoned. I mean, it's all faux. There's no need to use real halftones now because of technology. And it's just this. I get why he does it, and I get why DC likes him. Like some of his cartoony stuff works. His facial features, though, especially on men, just kind of really bug me. And it's no different in this book. And he does some weird compositional stuff in a few panels that just kind of don't fit for me. I'm probably not going to keep up with this one. There's not enough here to grab me. There's nothing really new. There's a first appearance in this book of something, so if you like that kind of thing. All right, Dr. Aphra, number 8, by Lisa Wong and Young. It's not bad. This book is fine. I just want more out of a capery kind of tale, and like, it always kind of like leaves me a little bit wanting on this one. I'm keeping it up mostly because everything Star Wars is now a spec book, and you never know when there's gonna be a first appearance, and you're gonna miss out on a $1 billion book. So I will spend $4 for the chance at winning $1 billion, and that's kind of this book. It's still okay enough that I'm reading it. It's just kind of the capers kind of land a little flat for me, and there's just nothing truly new or truly exciting with like the way they get out of jams. It's all just kind of a little predictable and a little bit flat. So there you go. All right, another one that's kind of like Carnage, Red, White, and Blood. It's Batman Black and White. This is better. Chip Zdarsky's story is the best one in this book, in my humble opinion. It's just I know I like Chip's writing a lot. It's just his story kind of deals with like the why people do what they do and why heroes are heroes and villains are villains, and there could be a greater good as part of it. Like some of the stuff Tynion touches on with Batman as well. This is coming at it from a different angle. It involves Poison Ivy, but it is kind of like calling out Batman for not doing enough as Bruce Wayne, basically, which is an interesting thing. And I know it's been touched on again, like I said, by Tynion and stuff. But I like Chip's little like story in here, and the art in that one is great. The art in this book is usually pretty solid. There's another Rossimo piece. The first story in here is like Josh Williamson and Rossimo, and Rossimo's art, it just doesn't doesn't do it for me. I wish it did. I tend to like a lot of the retro art style. It's just his isn't quite retro enough, or a little too cartoony, or something. But I don't know. I'm a picky bastard today, I guess. All right. Yeah, this is right. Or this is the one that came out last week, but my LCS had damaged copy, so I just got it this week. Origins Part 5 of 6. This is the penultimate issue. Look, I got to use the word penultimate. It's a cool word. Much cooler than ultimate. And also, the last issue really isn't ultimate. It's just the last issue. Just so, whatever. This is the part of the story where everything goes horribly wrong, and you realize the solution isn't going to probably be exactly like you were hoping. It's a transitional issue. It's man versus machine, man versus machines he himself created and set about the destruction of the world, and now trying to redeem it. It's the Joseph Conrad redemption arc where you're trying to tell a story and like something you end up solving the story, but something's going to be lost at the end. It's nothing really especially groundbreaking or new in this one either. Honestly, it's really not. I really enjoyed the art by Rebelka. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. Tea is a thing that people drink that's kind of like brown garbage water when you can't get coffee, but it's not gonna be for everybody. It reminds me a lot of Phil Hester stuff back in the day, and I know that's no, Straight Toasters. Yeah, sure, whatever. It doesn't matter. Some of the Sienkiewicz, Hestery, painterly art, and I know it's not everybody's thing, but I enjoyed it. I'm gonna finish it. It's one issue left. You can really just pick this one up in the trade paperback though, or you could probably buy. Oh, I'm sorry, I smacked my mic there. You can probably buy the whole thing off of me when it's all said and done if you want. So if you have interest in Origins, leave me a comment down below and we can talk. I'm gonna get the last one just to see how it wraps up, but it's not one I'm gonna feel the need to hold on to forever and ever and ever. Amen. Okay. But this one's a long DC title. DC's titles, I know I rant about them a lot, but listen. Batman, White Knight presents Harley Quinn. That's like, just say, Harley Quinn, White Knight. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, end of this read. It's a good ending. Nice wrapping it all up. It's good, not great. It started off fantastic, and it ends good. I like Harley's new black and gray costume in this. And I like the take on Harley by Collins and Murphy. This version of the character is much more interesting than the real DC version of the character in my book. And Sclera's art, I love it. It's cartoony in a different way than Rossmo's, and it just fits the tale better. And yeah, he's got a just mastery of composition and storytelling that I don't think Rossmo quite has yet. I know I'm not trying to pick on the last art books when I'm done with them, and now we're talking about this. But yeah, this is a solid wrap-up. If Katana Collins and Sean Murphy were to keep going and telling this story of Harley, I would keep up with it. And I would keep going in this universe, and I probably will follow what they do in this universe. I'm going to try and hunt down the old White Knight stuff in trade paperback form. I've not read it, so I might do that in one of my trade paperback reviews upcoming. If you like that idea, let me know in the comments. Yeah, okay. Stray Dogs #2. This is Disney meets Silence of the Lambs, kind of, ish. The cartoony art and the dogs are very cartoony and sort of like that, like Life of Pets idea. I don't know. There was some movie my nephew would watch and repeat where the dogs, as soon as the owners leave, like do crazy things. This was kind of that, except for the turns that the owner probably is a serial killer and collecting all these dogs. Spoilers, but you had a month to read the first issue, so. This is still catching up to this, and also if this cover doesn't give you some kind of idea about spoilers, I don't know what you're doing. It's solid. It's a quick read. It's a nice take. It's fun. It's I know it's weird to say it's a fun book about a serial killer that steals dogs from people, but the tone that this book is striking is intentionally awkward. I think it's trying to straddle the line between fun and horrific, and the Disney cutesy versus horror. And so calling it a fun book, I think, is accurate. It's fun, and it's about murder. So there you go. All right. Speaking of fun books about awful things, The Scumbag, number whatever is it, 6. This has been solid throughout. The art is probably my least favorite artist on the run, but it's still not bad. The Bengal, I'm not familiar with his or her work on anything else, but again, this is just an over-the-top action romp where you're starting to realize that the scumbag really is not the worst person in the world, kind of. I mean, he kind of is still, kind of. But some of his ideas and stuff are actually pretty logical, and he calls out hypocrisy where he sees it on the left and the right. And I think it's just it's a nice vehicle for Remender to like just kind of call out some crap he sees in the world. It's a fun tale. I know fun is the word of the week. Fun. It's a romp. It's delightful. It's drugs. It's sex. It's sex robots. It's corrupting. It's also sort of saying that like sex, drugs, and rock and roll are really not all that bad. It's just kind of there's a lot worse things in the world than than being a scumbag. So I consistently good. First trade paperback I know is out. I'd say pick it up. All right, we're getting to the last two. Haha, number 3. This is about Mimes, in case you couldn't tell. Haha is a miniseries by Maxwell Prince and like different artists on each one. Landridge is the artist here, and it's really cartoony. It's kind of lighthearted. It's another one of those books that's trying to strike a strange tone this month of fun and horror and fun and sadness. And this one does it very well. This one does it better than Stray Dogs, actually, but it's just kind of Maxwell Prince's forte of taking, what can be a comedic tone and then just kind of wrenching it a little bit at the end and making you feel all the feels and be sad about things. Came very close to making my pick of the week or book of the week. The only reason it didn't is because, and I'll get to it on the last book. It's a mini-series. Each issue standalone, so you don't really need to pick up like the previous ones to enjoy these. If you can find this one, I say get it. If you can find the next one, I say pick it up, or you can wait to trade. I'm sure they'll put it in a trade paperback, and it'll probably get picked up as an anthology series by some, like Netflix or something, if it hasn't already. I'm not on top of all that. Speculation is not my forte. I just buy. I've learned really, and I'm getting better at it. Like this is a pretty short stack of books for me this week. I'm trying to just buy what I like and not spec a whole lot, or buy things I at least think might be interesting, and give first issues a chance, but then not try and dive too deep into the speculation game because it's a rabbit hole, and yeah, that's a tangent for another day. But really good, really solid. Haha, all 3 issues have been great. 2 and 3 have been phenomenal. This is also, I'd say it's phenomenal. It's a quick read, and it's a mostly silent issue, not to spoil a whole lot. But it'll get you. It'll get you in the end. If it doesn't, well, I don't know what to tell you. And last, and this is probably a strange pick, or if you know me, this might be a strange pick. I love Alien and Aliens, the movie. I've kind of hated, like a lot of people, I think I've hated everything else since then. And I was very leery of what Marvel would do when they took it over. And like, I just sort of like thought they'd, have it would be like Aliens versus X-Men, and they still might. But this is definitely still set in the movie universe. Yeah, for the good and the bad of what that is. There's probably a first appearance. So if you are specking, there you go. And also, it's the first issue. If you didn't pick it up because of this, you're not going to want to spec it anyways. But it's solid. It has the horror tone. There's some family drama. There's an interesting sort of spin on how the aliens are going to like affect things in the future. There's possibly future versions of things, and the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. I can't remember the name of the corporation. Doesn't matter. It's still mostly evil, but it also is exploring the fact that if you worked for that corporation, you might not actually be evil. You might just be an employee, or you might be evil. You never know. Yeah. Now, I don't want to give a whole lot away about this one, but it's a pleasant surprise. It might not have been my book of the week if I didn't have my mental bar set quite as low as I did. I really was not expecting much. I've been burned by franchises before when they like try and by Marvel or other companies when they take over things and they're like, oh, we're gonna write about Star Wars or write about whatever. We now own this property, this license, so we're gonna write about it. And then you read it and you're like, oh, that was crap. This is not. This is actually solid. And the art by Salvador LaRocca is pretty darn good. Phil Kenny Johnson, yeah, and the writing, strong. and I will pick up the second and third one. I might even just subscribe to it at my LCS, which is high praise. I tend to not subscribe to a whole lot. So there you guys have it. Let me know what you thought. If you agree with me on any of this mess, or if you said, Taylor, you're an idiot. The Harley Quinn is the best book ever, and I don't know why I even watch you and why I made it this far. That's fine. Opinions. Part of this is trying to be a discussion. So please let me know if you do disagree with me. Let's just have a chat. Dialogue. We can hash it out. Wait, that's not hashing. That's fighting. I'm not. All right. Enough of that. Have a good day, everybody. Don't be a dick.